Hello, this is Terence from Founders Go Naked, and in this episode, we are very privileged to have Terence Teoh, one of the co-founders of Beyond Insights, which is one of Malaysia's largest education company when it comes to stock market investing and trading. And they have been around for a long, long time as well. So we're very privileged to have Terence here today. And Terence, tell us briefly about Beyond Insights. If I missed anything there, please.
Well, thank you, Terence. And Beyond Insights, as you mentioned, is one of the largest educator in the space of stock market investing and trading. So we educate the public about the proper way, a systematic way, a safe way to invest in the stock market. And a lot of people don't know this. There are actually many ways you can make money in the stock market. You can go for the long-term investing way. You can also do short-term trading and very short-term trading. There are also various tools and strategies that you can use. For example, you could use leverage instruments like options or CFDs, for example, to maximize the usage of your capital for better returns. In short, there's just so many ways, and what we endeavor to do is to help individual investors and traders out there to eventually develop a system that they can use that suits them, suits their personality, suits their lifestyle, in order to achieve financial independence, to generate wealth that is sustainable for themselves and also for their family. So
that's fantastic. And how many students have gone through your courses roughly? I mean, in the past, how many years has it been?
We just celebrated our 15-year anniversary last year. So this is our 16th year in business. And today we have about 6,200 graduates who has completed at least one of our program. Yep.
Nice. Well, I mean, it just speaks volume that you had so many students go through your courses and you have been around for 15 years, which is, so I'm sure we have a lot to learn from you today. But before we start, I want to shoot a few five simple questions for you so that, the audience can get to know you as a person a little bit better before we get into the meat of the interview, right? Okay, sure. So Terence, I know we both share the same name, so this could be confusing for the listener, but I'm Terence Tam, and we're interviewing Terence Teoh, right? Of course, Terence is a great name. That's why we all have Terence here. And so Terence, I want to ask you, what year did you start your business?
2008.
2008.
2008. We registered the company, and we had our first public program on 2009.
Wow. Okay. So 2024 now. So 15 years. Okay. So this next one is a quick trick question. Okay. What date is your anniversary? Your wedding anniversary?
Wedding anniversary.
Yes.
So it's 19 September 1998. There's a lot of nines there, so I didn't get it right. So September 1998.
Wow. Okay, you could have waited 1 year and had one more nine to it, but that's okay. Yeah. Well, at least I'm sure you get off the hook with that one from Kathlyn, so that's great. Next one is, what is your favorite food, Terence?
That's easy. First thing that comes to mind is Chee Cheong Fun and the Penang Chee Cheong Fun.
Penang Chee Cheong Fun
else, but Penang version.
All right. For those people living overseas, can you describe what it's like?
It's like it's rice cake, but made in a very flat manner and then cut into little pieces. And then we take it with sweet sauce plus chili sauce, with a little bit of peanuts, sometimes sesame, yeah,
Yeah.
and fried onions as well.
Yeah, it's delicious. So if you do
Salivating.
visit Penang, make sure you actually get that. You're making me feel hungry already. Uh, what is your favorite country to visit?
So many. I would, well, put it this way: that there's one place that one country that I've visited the most, which is Maldives. I think we've been there 6 times
Wow.
already, and I'm sure we'll still go back. Yeah, it's just a really great place to just chill and do nothing, and it's not that far away. It's only 4 hours flight, so it's convenient.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and yeah, that's our go-to place if we need a break.
Nice. Okay. Sorry, Terence. We'll cut this part, but it seems like I'm getting a bit of notification alert from, I think it's your side, maybe.
Yep. Yeah, I've turned it off, so
Okay.
it'll be okay now.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Sweet. All right. And the final question for this quickfire session is who did you give your first kiss away to?
My first girlfriend.
Okay. Let's not dive too deep into that, otherwise Terence will get in trouble here. So let's move on to the main section
We're good. Well,
of the interview.
yeah.
All right, cool. So yeah, Terence, can you give us the highlights of your journey with Beyond Insights from when you started to today? Just give us an overview of how it got started, why you started it, and some of the highlights on your 15-year journey.
Sure. To put it plainly, which is something I tell everyone, the real founder of the business is my wife, Kathlyn. So she founded the business because she just had that immense passion to want to share her knowledge. And when we started Beyond Insights, our intention was actually to train people on personal mastery. And that inspiration largely came from our learning journey ourselves, right? And that was back in 2003, or perhaps 2002, I think. By chance, I got a free ticket to the Tony Robbins program, Unleash the Power Within, which was held in Kuala Lumpur at that time. So I went there and I was blown away by this tall American guy on stage who has that amazing ability to actually do what he says he does, right? To create transformation and instant change in people. And when I went back and shared with my wife, I said, you got to go and watch this guy. And actually on the same night before I finished the event, I told her I actually bought a ticket for her already, for the next event in Singapore the next year.
Nice.
She was skeptical at first, but tickets already bought, so she went along the next year with me. It was a buy one free one deal at the time, so we went along, and then she experienced the thing, and then we went on to, over the years we actually did, I would say, almost all the Tony Robbins program, but the most significant program that we've done is the one called Date with Destiny. And that has been truly a transformational event for us, because when we went there to that event, we had a problem statement, which is, we were about 7 years into our marriage at that time, and there were tension, there were challenges within the marriage, which we that time didn't have the resource to resolve it. So we kind of stuck at this place that's not great for marriage. But going through that program, it actually not only changed our relationship, it changed the way we look at our life as well. And so that was the turning point that actually I believe has a lot of impact on Kathlyn's perspective of life, as well as given her a mission at that point of time to want to do something similar for people in Malaysia. So, long story short, when we started Beyond Insights, we actually wanted to teach a personal mastery program. But after doing all the market research and studies, we realized that it might not be a very viable business because we thought that at that point of time, probably no one will pay for this kind of training. And well, there is a way to do it, which is to sell it as a corporate training. But we didn't want to do another corporate training. There are plenty of corporate trainers out there teaching all kinds of stuff at that point of time. We just didn't want to do the same thing. So we kind of put that aside. And then we thought of, how about teaching, just teaching what she is good at the point of time. So what happened was that, before we went to do this Tony Robbins thing, we also explored a few years back, explored quite a few education on wealth, on the wealth side. So the one that caught our attention is really the stock market investing and trading part. Again, Kathlyn was the one who picked it up and went to it with real passion and interest. And few years after that, because of her dedication in just honing the skills and her ability, we came to a point where we were able to generate enough from the stock market to know that, hey, if we ever choose to leave our employment at a time, we can do that, right? Our ability to generate income from the stock market has already given us the assurance that we can choose what we want to do. So that was in 2008. We established the company. We were figuring out what to do, and one day we just decided, hey, why not just teach what we know best, right? So then came the idea where Kathlyn actually created a trading psychology program. Again, you can see how we kind of marry the two ideas, right? Teaching about stock market and the personal development, because the truth is that success in stock market, as in success in entrepreneurship, success in career, success in relationship, and so many other things in life, 90% of it is about the mindset, right? And the balance is about the strategy that you apply. So that was our first program. We call it Trading for Success. At the core of it is a trading psychology program, right? How do we help traders to build that mindset to overcome all the challenges that they will face when it comes to trading in the stock market, in the financial market. So that was how we started. We started off just teaching one program on the very first year. On the second year, because some of the students who attended the first program, they asked us, right, hey, so you have taught us about psychology, but we don't really have a strategy that we can bank on right now. So why don't you teach us the strategy that you apply as well? So we started teaching the strategy, and that's how things have developed over the years. So if I could summarize the roadmap from the starting point to what we have now, we've been working really hard to create and design a complete curriculum where people can learn, not only learn, but learn until a stage where they can actually create professional level results. Because, I think trading and investing is actually a profession that deserves a lot of respect that sometimes people don't give enough of, right? What I mean is that, if you look at any profession out there, right? If you want to be an engineer, you got to spend 4 years, at least 4 years in the university, right?
Yeah.
You want to be a software developer, you got to spend at least 3 years. If you want to be a medical doctor, that's even longer, 6 years and whatnot. So to be a financial market investor and trader with professional level kind of results, you not only you got to spend time, you got to spend effort to learn different aspects in the stock market as well. Otherwise, truly, you're better off just, leaving your money to other people to manage, which arguably may not give you the results that you want. But for anyone who wants to succeed in it, they need to be aware that there are a few aspects to learn. So, unfortunately, in the market back then, a lot of people are just teaching so-called their secret sauce, right? As if there's like this one holy grail where you can just follow exactly and then you will get results. But that is never the case. Yeah. So what we have endeavored to do in the past 15 years is to build a very complete and comprehensive set of curriculum where someone can join Beyond Insights and first of all learn the fundamentals, learn the foundation skills, which will enable you to have decent return that's better than, for example, your social security return that's better than putting your money in unit trust or fixed deposit. So it just gives you more advantage. And for the people who find interest in the subjects, who want to go further and get even better results that's better than most of the so-called fund managers out there, they can also achieve that by going through the more advanced level education that we have in Beyond Insight. So to summarize, over the years we have developed the most comprehensive curriculum that you can find out there, and at the same time, in the past few years we have also invested in technology.
Terence.
Technology advancement these days are just amazing. Yeah.
Sorry, Terence. Just now, the internet lagged for a little bit. Okay. So I think the part where you were saying about just like 30 seconds ago, where you were saying before you talk about the technology part, that part part was lagging. So if you can start from that part again.
Okay. Yeah. So to summarize, in the past 15 years, we have spent that effort to develop a really comprehensive and complete curriculum for people with different level of interest. So meaning to say, if you just want to have some fundamental knowledge, you can learn that from Beyond Insights. When I say fundamental, it will actually enable you to do better than putting your money in unit trust, for example. And for those people who find interest in the subject, they want to go develop themselves further, they can actually, through the Beyond Insights program, achieve professional level results as well, right? Which is, I would say, on par with a lot of so-called fund managers out there. So that's that. And also, in the past few years, we also invested heavily in technology. We have started to develop our own software that can guide our students to trade more systematically, to help them to make decisions more precisely, to make their decision-making process faster, so that they can just focus on doing the right things. So I think the development in technology is really exciting. The speed of development in AI is so fast that we just we hope we can continue to innovate and invest in this space and to be able to help our students better and better. Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, Terence, I think one of the big lessons there for listeners is that, from what I'm hearing, all throughout this 15 years, you haven't come up with offerings that the market doesn't need. Your offerings and your programs, they're all based on the needs of what your students need. Even today, and when you're talking about AI and stuff like that, you're kind of like saying, okay, how can we help our students better? And I think that customer focus, I think, is probably one of the reasons why you guys are one of the most successful and, have been around the longest, is because you're putting your customers first and your customers' needs first. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. We created this mission statement when we started the business, right? Our mission was to bring out the best in people and their financial future. So,
Right.
Bring out the best in people has always been the focus, and it still is the focus today.
Yeah.
And it's how do we bring out the best in people? It's about giving them the resources, giving them the facilities that they need. Because actually, we also believe that most people have all the resources they need within themselves. All we need to do is give them the resources and facilities, whether it's the program, whether it's the software system, to help them to achieve that. So definitely, I would agree. I think that should be the primary focus for all business, to focus on the customer's interest first. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even when you first started and you're going, okay, maybe we help people with self-mastery, but then you realize, okay, that's not what the market needs at this stage. It's more like, okay, maybe what they need is to get a higher income for themselves through trading, through stock market investing. And you went towards that, and then you merged self-mastery in it, whereas I think a lot of people would just say, well, I am in this particular niche and this particular field, and I'm just doing this and not listening to what the market wants. And that's where they create a lot of problems. So moving on, Terence, I'm just wondering, what were some of the biggest challenges you have faced in this last 15 years? Because I'm sure there are quite a few with such a long period of time. Can you name one or two that were some of the biggest that you had to face as a business?
I think in most business, the challenge would always be about people. I think if we compare ourselves to many businesses out there, I wouldn't say that we are growing as fast as a lot of business out there. But we also made that conscious decision to grow the business in a way that we can sustain it. So that also means that we need to make sure that we hire the right people who are aligned with Beyond Insights values, and it's not easy in a sense that, I mean, if you look at the company's profitability, our profit margin is not that great. I mean, inherently in the service industry, in the education industry, profit margins are not that scalable because we always have to depend on a human to teach, right? I mean, maybe in the future we can get robots to teach, but now, the product is actually, other than the material, is the human who teach it. So that kind of limit our scalability in some sense. But that also means that we really have to put in effort to groom people, to develop people, and that takes time.
Yes.
And not everybody has the patience to grow slowly in a way that we want to grow. So recruiting talent had been a challenge, but I think we kind of accepted that, right, as a challenge because of the choice that we make. We know that hiring the right people is important, and therefore we are willing to wait for the right people and grow the business following the pace of the people that we have as well, right? Because it doesn't matter how much ambition I have, right? If I don't have the people, I can't make it happen. I can't do everything myself,
True.
So growth has been a challenge, but I would say that it's also because of the way we have decided to run the business. So while it's a challenge, I'm also at peace with it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so what I guess the only solution there is really the patience and, having that patience to wait for the right people to come in that meet your criteria. And I mean, is there a challenge also where if you train someone, like you spend 2 years patiently training someone, then they decide, oh, I can do this myself, and then they leave the company and set up shop? Is that has that happened before, or is that like a challenge for you?
Well, that I don't think that that hasn't happened.
Okay.
But internally, I'm prepared for that. I think I have accepted that as part and parcel of the business, and I think it's not just about them going to set up shops, right? It could be just a staff who we have, let's say, spend a lot of effort in grooming, and then went out and do some other business or something else that is more aligned with their passion and interest. I think we just have to accept that as entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Someone gave me this analogy, right? As a business, we are like a bus heading towards a destination. And in the journey, this bus will pick up passengers, but not everyone on the bus will want to go to the final destination. Some will want to get off, somewhere along the way, and we gotta be okay with that, because it's their choice, right? It's their life, and what we just want to make sure of is when they're on the bus, everyone gives their best in making sure that the journey is a beautiful one. The journey is a rewarding one. So when it's time for you to get off the bus, just we send you off.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I'm really curious about something, Terence, and I've been through this before, and for me, it didn't quite work so well in terms of working together with your wife in the same business, right? When I had my business back in Australia and I had my wife in the business, we often would get into conflicts and arguments and stuff. How does your chemistry work with Kathlyn, and how do you deal with conflict prevention or resolution there? Can you share some tips?
Yeah, I know what it means. That's definitely not easy, and definitely not for everyone.
Yeah.
It's challenging. Just by the fact that when husband and wife work in the same business, the lines get crossed all the time. Between personal and business. Sometimes business get personal, and personal stuff become business. And well, you would say that it is a sacrifice in some sense. because like I say, right, sometimes you can't avoid talking about business when you're out having a dinner,
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
And as much as you want to avoid it, some things are just urgent and warrants that attention to be to be discussed, right? So and I think it's just to have the agreement that it's for the best of everyone. Meaning to say, I think that as a couple, we need to align on values. We need to know that what is considered most important for us. We gotta agree on let's say, for example, how we spend our time, what is okay and what's not okay, and we do our best to safeguard those guidelines, right? And also have that grace to kind of accept and also forgive each other when sometimes we overstep that line, when in our speech we get too personal when we talk about business. So it's a lot of acceptance for of both parties, because when you're a business, a lot of your, when you work together, right, a lot of your weaknesses or shortcomings tend to show up, which otherwise would not show up in a family context, right?
True.
So to summarize, number one, values alignment. I think both parties need to be very clear what they each value, understand what each other value, and have an alignment. Second is to have so-called rules and guides in place to clearly know when we overstep the boundaries. And thirdly, have a lot of grace and in each other's heart to just be able to give that allowance for each other to sometimes overstep that boundary, and forgive each other. But all in all, I would say that although it's challenging, it does really help to improve the relationship at the end of the day, because I believe that if the marriage is strong, a good marriage should be able to withstand all these challenges. So our focus, the primary question would always be, how do we support each other in the best way possible, in the most loving way possible, even though we are working together as a colleague. Yeah.
And you at the end of the day, you feel the pros outweigh the cons, being in a husband-wife business?
Yeah, I do, yes.
Okay, so what is the biggest pro you think being in a husband-wife business?
There's never been a complaint of, you don't spend enough time with me, because we're with each other 24/7.
Yeah, no complaints there.
Yeah,
good point. Yeah.
And we get to understand each other, I think, a lot better. And that's what makes a good marriage, isn't it? To have that real deep understanding of each other, so that because acceptance comes from understanding, right? You can't understand each other, then there's no point talking about acceptance. So I think that having that opportunity to understand each other deeply, because we also work with each other, I think those are the pros here.
That's beautiful. So Terence, I'm just curious, like if people are, starting a coaching business or want to get into webinars and seminars, what is your one or two tips that you would kind of share with them to help them to improve their maybe their sales and their conversions at webinars and seminars?
We've been on the so-called the speaking circuit for many years. As in, we don't only look at ourselves, but we look at the other speakers whom we look up to, speakers who could, let's say, convert well. And I think there are two types. All right.
Right.
There's one type of speaker, whether it's online or in a in-person setting. There's one type of speaker who could impress and convert really well because they are really polished in their sales pitch. They are really precise in their use of words, right? And there's also another type of speakers who can really inspire. Sometimes they may not be the best sales, but these are the type who create lasting impact, as in, you can still remember what they say like 10, 20 years ago on the stage. And if you ask me, as someone who is selling webinar, we have to endeavor to be both, in the sense that we really have to come from that authentic space where we have a real message that we want to share with people. We have real solid knowledge that we can really help people to become better in their lives. I think that's the key fundamental. If we can get this right, it's already more than half the job done. So I think that's the most important thing. If you ask me to choose between an authentic speaker and a great salesman, I would choose the authentic person first, because I know that there's something real I can learn there. I'm not just getting emotional buy-in because of a great sales pitch. So I think that comes first, and secondly is to of course develop that ability to speak well, to be precise in the way we use our words, so that our message can be conveyed in an effective and efficient manner. So it's there's I personally struggle with the second part, right? That as an introvert, I'm not the type who can express myself well, but I do realize that it is a learnable skills as well. And so I would encourage everyone who wants to be a speaker and do webinars, first of all, just be sure that you have really something solid within you that you can give to people that's of great value. Determine that, then slowly build up your ability to deliver your presentation in a better way.
Fantastic. Because actually, one of a lot of testimonials I hear about Kathlyn is that she, number one, is very authentic. That's one thing I always hear from a lot of attendees to your seminars and webinars. The other thing is that she simplifies things so that something complicated like the stock market, even someone that has zero financial knowledge or accounting background can understand what the stock market is about. So I think if any of you want to see how Kathlyn does it, I think you should maybe check out one of her webinars or seminars. So talking about that, Terence, if people want to find out more about yourself, Beyond Insights, and Kathlyn, and maybe sign up for one of her webinars to check out how she presents, and I know she presents really well, where can they find you?
Yeah, just go to www.beyondinsights.net. There's a Get Started button there. So just click on that. That will lead you to a introductory seminar that we are conducting about once a week at the moment. So just pick the dates that is best for you. Come and join us, and let Kathlyn share with you wisdom and knowledge. As Terence mentioned, see how she presents, and I think more importantly, learn the message about the importance of investing in ourselves as well.
Yeah. Well, fantastic, Terence. It's been a pleasure catching up with you, and I think our listeners and I myself have gotten a lot from this interview about business, about presenting at webinars, and about life in general and marriage. So thank you so much, Terence, for being on this show.
Thank you, Terence, for inviting. It's been a pleasure.